What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Everything Cars Gaming. And of course, we are back here inside of Greenville, Wisconsin Roblox, like normal. But today I'm going to be discussing an interesting topic, which is what happened to Greenville fictional car updates. If you guys don't remember, Greenville, a while ago, or well, not a while ago, but about a year ago, we would get basically only fictional cars updates. And if you guys don't mean what fictional cars are, they're basically models that Greenville developers create that are supposed to represent an actual car, but they're not the actual car, basically to avoid copyright. And well, if we look at all the updates we've had this year, basically all the updates have been licensed car updates. We have barely gotten any fictional cars, and I think that the question is, are we going to get more fictional cars, or is Greenville going to start being one of those games like Driving Empire where the only thing we get is licensed cars? So today I'm going to be trying to answer this question, and I would like to start off the video by saying I am not a developer. I have I have no knowledge behind this. I don't know. Everything I'm saying is my personal opinion and what I think is happening. So I'm going to start off on why we haven't gotten a ton of fictional cars. If it's not already obvious, it is because Greenville has been focusing a ton of their time on licensed cars like this one behind me. And if we go into the dealership here, I mean, guys, Greenville's probably started licensing cars maybe a year ago, and we already have a ton of brands. We have Fiat, we have Abarth, Alfa Romeo, Audi, Fiat, Ford, Jaguar, Lancia, Land Rover, Lincoln, Lotus, Pagani, Renault, and Celine, which is absolutely insane. I mean, for a game that only started licensing cars about a year or two ago, maybe like a year and a half ago, that is a lot of cars. That is very impressive. And obviously, with these things, and with these car licensings, these things all take time, which means that in order for the Greenville developers to make these licensed car updates happen for the people who play the game, they have to work with the brands, develop the models, and it's a huge thing that happens behind the scenes. And what is just a simple update to the players of Greenville takes 5 months or a month at least of work. And when you're trying to develop licensed cars and get in contact with licensed car brands, there doesn't leave much time on the side to work on fictional cars. And the other question is, are fictional cars really what people want, or do people want to see more licensed cars? Because there are a lot of people who want licensed cars only, they don't care for the fictional cars, and then there's people who want a mix of both, or there's people who kind of miss the fictional cars. And as to where I stand on this, I kind of miss the fictional cars a little bit myself. I think the licensed car updates are awesome, and I think they're super cool, and obviously I know for the Greenville developers, licensing cars probably makes a lot more sense than just making fictional versions, because, well, not only does licensing cars seem cooler, but it's also probably a lot more appealing to people who have never played this game. When they're going through Roblox and they're looking for car games to play, and you see a car game that has real licensed vehicles, that's pretty eye-catching and it's pretty attention-grabbing. And I think that another big factor to it is probably that, the amount of people who play the game obviously depends on how well they update. And, sometimes the licensed cars that they get are better than fictionals. And is that true? Yeah, sure, to some extent. Obviously, licensed cars are awesome. They're super cool. And Greenville is, a great game. And one of the only games on Roblox with licensed cars. There's gotten to be more brands, but Greenville is one of the only brands it's one of the only games, I should say, that actually has a lot of brands and not just one or two licensed cars. And I think for that kind of makes Greenville stand out, and I think that that's why they're doing more licensed cars, because it's sort of more appealing to people, and it also seems like that is more so cool. And with all the brand removals going on, licensed cars is probably just the way to go. I mean, when we think about it, we just had Mercedes-Benz removed, we just had Dodge and Jeep removed, Chrysler removed, Fiat removed, Alfa Romeo removed, and obviously you get some of those brands back in the form of licensed cars, but some of those brands we never get back except for the form of fictionals. And sometimes it makes more sense to go in and make more of an effort on licensed cars that aren't going to get removed and are probably going to attract more players, rather than try and make a bunch of fictionals. Now, will Greenville start making fictionals? I'm assuming yes. I'm assuming they're going to continue this. Obviously, they are doing a ton of licensing cars, but generally speaking, I think that Greenville will continue to give us fictionals at some point. I don't think they're done with fictionals. I don't think they're just throwing that idea in the trash. I think that it just, takes probably just a little bit more time, and also, licensing cars, like I said earlier, it just takes a while. It's a long process, and on top of that, I believe Greenville is also working on map updates, which would be very cool, because if you guys do not know, we have supposed to be getting a ton of new map updates that have not been done. We're still supposed to get the new airport. The new airport has not been touched. There's a lot of things that have not been touched yet. That will they get touched soon? I don't know. Greenville, half of the Greenville updates this year, basically all of them have been licensed cars updates. We had Fiat earlier in the year. Same with Alfa Romeo. Then we got Lancia. Then we got what else did we get? We got Ford. That was a huge update. And I don't want to say that these licensed car updates are bad. Like, licensed cars, they're awesome. They're cool. They make the roleplay experience feel more intuitive. They make it feel, more, cool, and make me feel like you're driving in real life. But I definitely would like to see some fictional cars come back. So hopefully we'll start getting some fictionals soon. And if you guys enjoyed this video, I am glad. And thank you all for watching. And I hope to see you guys here soon in the next